We're halfway through in the game between India and Australia. 352 for 5 is what India has got batting first on the back of 100 there by Shekhar Dhawan. This is his 17th ODI 100. Also, the captain in Virat Kohli chipping in with 82 runs. It was a good opening partnership, and you had Rohit Sharma also with 57 runs. Not much to show for the Australian bowlers. Stoinis there picking up 2 wickets, and then a wicket apiece for Pat Cummins and Nathan Coulter-Nile. You are watching ESPN Cricinfo Matchday UK 2019. I'm Nikhil Naz, and with me is Michael Hussey and Ajit Agarkar. We'll also take you across to the Oval Cricket Ground for some live updates. But Ajit, I'll start with you. When Virat Kohli won the toss and decided to bat, this is something that he must have had in mind to get somewhere around 350.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know whether you think of 350, but you're quite happy getting there.
Yeah.
Again, India showed why they're considered one of the favourites, if not the favourites. Just batting and another box tick, I guess, with Shekhar Dhawan's 100. Ideal day. I wasn't quite sure how the pitch will behave, but really good toss to win. But they made sure that they capitalized on it. I think you need runs on that pitch, on that ground. It's given a lot of runs for Indian bowlers to then put pressure on Australia.
The one man I didn't mention in that scorecard, almost like an X factor there with 48 runs of just 27 deliveries. Hardik Pandya, what do you make of that move to have sent him up the order?
I think tactically, India got this innings perfect. The way the openers played to set the platform, seeing off the threat of the Australian new ball bowlers of Stark and Cummins, and then allowing the other players to come in and play with freedom. And they just injected Hardik Pandya at the perfect time for him to be able to come in, play with that freedom, and he could have been out first ball, remember? And that's pretty costly in this scheme of things. But he backed himself. He played beautifully. He shows what great touch he's in at the moment.
We're going to talk about Australia's fielding, plenty to talk about there. But just staying with Hardik Pandya, that form that he showed in the IPL is just continuing from that.
Yeah, incredible. I think incredible hitting form at the moment, and it's not slogging. It's just proper batting, which makes it so much harder for the bowlers then to have plans against him. I mean, Mitchell Starc obviously had a tough day today. One of the rare bad days that he has in one-day cricket, but it's partly due to how well India's batted. And Hardik Pandya has just given India so much flexibility in their batting now with that sort of hitting form that he's in. They can actually float him anywhere in that order, and he showed why. I think that sort of batting form suddenly makes India even more formidable if they weren't already.
Okay, let's take a look at the star then for India with the bat was, of course, Shekhar Dhawan with that 100 that he got, 117, and these are most hundreds in ICC tournaments, and Shekhar is there. Tied with the likes of Kumar Sangakkara and Ricky Ponting at 6 apiece, and then you've got the 2 Indian stalwarts in Saurav Ganguly and Sachin Tendulkar with 700s in World Cup. He talks about India ticking a few boxes. All they needed to do is just bring Shekhar to an ICC tournament and the box would have been ticked. He just loves this big stage.
Yeah, he played beautifully. He really did. I haven't heard it myself, but I've heard he's been copying a little bit of criticism about his form leading into it. But you should never criticise class players and champion players, and he continues to show why he's been such a champion player for India. He was challenged a little bit early. He copped a nasty one on the thumb at one stage, which he looked in a little bit of pain, but he got through that. And then once he's in and going, he's just a beautiful player to watch. And it was an incredible innings. And seeing the number of centuries he's scored in ICC tournaments, he's up there with some pretty impressive company. So you'd have to say he's in probably that top echelon of player in one-day cricket around the world.
Got that nasty hit on his thumb, I guess, and then was not even holding the bat with both the hands. But clearly he was not going to let go of this opportunity. When he was in form, he thought there is 100 for taking.
Yeah, I think once the first 2 or 3 overs were bowled and there was nothing on offer. Stark has swung in both the games before this against West Indies and Afghanistan. There was nothing on offer. I don't think he would have. I think you had to drag him off the field or broken his thumb into 2 pieces to take him off the field. No. Again, really good innings, paced it beautifully. Saw Cummins in particular troubled him a little bit at the start, but got through that, and then just fluency. And just keeps putting pressure on the bowlers, lets Virat Kohli then take his time to get into his innings. That's why he's so successful. India has been successful because of those 3 at the top over the last 2 or 3 years.
Because he's talking about the top 3, but let's take a look at where is it that Shekhar Dhawan got all his runs, and this is his wagon wheel. It's that one area on the offside that he clearly enjoys. Also the Australian bowlers in a way helping that cause. When you're bowling him short, he just loves it out there.
Yeah, well, I think early on, the Australians wanted to bowl a little bit wide and see if, with a couple of gullies in place and trying to get him to scoop one towards that back behind point or gully sort of region. But as soon as they over-pitched a touch, bang, he was just so powerful through the offside. And I thought he played the spin quite well of Zampa. He really attacked him, attacked Nathan Coulter-Nile. And even when he got out, I know he would have been unhappy to get out, but again, it was the right time for him just to really put the foot right on the pedal to allow someone like Hardik Pandya to come in. So again, tactically, I think he played a wonderful innings.
Okay, we're looking at India's 352, and that came because of the base that was set by the openers in Rohit Sharma and Shekhar Dhawan. It was a 127-run partnership that they got, and these are the highest opening partnerships versus Australia in Cricket World Cup. It's now just second behind AB de Villiers and Graeme Smith, who got 160 way back in 2007. So clearly, I mean, this was a threat that Australia knew about. You know, you had to get the openers in early, but it didn't really happen for them.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, Stark had a rare bad day, and that's hurt them. I think suddenly Cummins and Stark, then you look at the depth of the bowling, and you've got to wonder if, okay, India's a really good team, and that you might have some lesser teams to deal with. But if you don't get early wickets, do you have enough in your attack to then create opportunities? So there's no escaping in this World Cup if you don't pick up wickets. I think most teams bat deep, bat well, and bat big. So Australia will have to maybe have a rethink about the balance of their attack because today, after a certain point at the start of the innings, they didn't look like getting a wicket. And once that happens with this Indian batting lineup, 350 is always on the cards.
Okay, we're talking about the opening partnership, and we showed you this is the second best versus Australia by any opening pair, but most 100 partnerships against one opposition in ODI. Shekhar Dhawan, Rohit Sharma have been the Achilles heel for the Australian team. They've what, 22 innings and 600 opening partnerships, and those two gentlemen, legends of the sport, in Gordon Greenidge, Desmond Haynes, they've actually leveled there with the two of those greats from West Indies. Just looking at the way these two complement each other, Rohit Sharma and Shekhar Dhawan. Looking at Rohit Sharma's start today, I think the first 20 balls that he faced, 14 were dot balls, but there was no need for him to worry because it was Shekhar who was taking on the attack. Yeah,
well, that's right, and you talk about complementing each other. They do it perfectly. Rohit Sharma generally likes to take a few balls to get himself in, build an innings slowly. Shekhar can get away to that flying start. So, yeah, they did it again perfectly. And that's where I think the Australians maybe would regret not playing someone like Behrendorff, who can swing that ball early. Stark didn't get it to swing, but Behrendorff he's got wickets early, and he has troubled these Indian openers and Virat Kohli in the past. So maybe they're just regretting that a touch by not playing someone like a Behrendorff, because Australia knows, and the whole world knows, that this is a key partnership for Australia. If you can break this partnership early, then you get a chance to try and get into that middle order. Okay, these two, Rohit Sharma, Shekhar Dhawan, have been doing this for India consistently. 100-run partnerships is what they do. We showed you versus Australia, I mean, they've got 6 already, but most 100 partnerships for an opening pair in ODIs, and they're once again, they're at the second spot, 16 in 103 innings at an average of 45. Ajit, just looking at those numbers, I mean, they're matching the likes of Ganguly, Tendulkar. I mean, it's just a matter of time before they go ahead. They still have about a few more innings to go. They might do it in this World Cup, the way they've started. I mean, it's not a surprise to see those numbers. I think that's why India's, like I said, been so successful. The top three have won so many games for India, or set so many games up for India, that the middle order a lot of times has been shielded or hasn't had a lot of work to do. And Shekhar Dhawan probably was the only guy who was maybe not in bad form, but hadn't had a big score. And that's happened today. So I think Virat Kohli will be excited, and just second game into the tournament. Okay, let's now cut across, take you live to the Oval Cricket Ground. Joining me from there, my colleague Melinda Farrell, as well as we got Murali Kartik there. Melinda, we saw some big sixes there from Hardik Pandya as well as MS Dhoni. Did any one of those balls land where you guys were sitting?
Well, we have actually got the most amazing seats in the house. We were saying that. I've very kindly let Kartik come and sit with me because we're actually outside, and some of those straight drives were coming very close in our direction. In the atmosphere in that ground, honestly, I've never felt an atmosphere like it in a crowd at the Oval. I think I counted 36 yellow jerseys, but
you?
yeah, but
No, I
only
didn't count. I
they're
didn't see
all
any.
worn by the stewards.
Yeah, exactly.
There are only 2, I think, that weren't.
And
But
if you classify this as yellow, then possibly.
there's yellow on it, but it was. I guess we've obviously been listening to the guys talking there in the studio. So impressive was the pacing of India's innings. It was really complete, wasn't it?
Yeah, it felt as if they had come with a plan, and obviously the ball didn't swing a micromillimeter, so that helps because the initial threat from Mitchell Starc, where the ball coming in, or Pat Cummins, there was nothing on offer. Yes, the ball did stick a bit. It was interesting because as soon as I walked in the first 2 overs, I was talking to Waqar Younis, and Waqar says, I did the pitch report and I thought that something would happen, and nothing has happened. So that's exactly what the pitch has. So as a bowler, you need to be super creative, and that's where Pat Cummins stood out because he was very impressive without getting a wicket. And for the others, you spoke about the Indian batting, exactly, with the initial threat gone. The way Shekhar, and they have this uncanny knack of understanding who's going to be the aggressor and the other one going to be an ideal foil, and that's exactly what they do so well, both Rohit and Shekhar Dhawan. And today he just played second fiddle to the way Shekhar Dhawan went, and obviously with that kind of a platform set, can you imagine top 4 getting 50s, and the way Hardik Pandya came and just absolutely creamed them. I think it was just a complete sort of an innings with even KL Rahul saying that, look, I might be a number 4, I can also whack the ball. So it's a tough surface to bowl, margin for error minuscule, and I think you need to be really crafty and one step ahead of the batsman to bowl on that surface.
Yeah, you say I think it's actually the first time in a World Cup match where the top 4 batsmen have all got half centuries. Of course, you can check that out on ESPN Cricinfo, our little stats page. But you know, Australia's bowlers. You mentioned Pat Cummins. It was very, very difficult for the Australian bowling lineup when you've got those second change, third change bowlers coming in and just getting smacked around.
Yeah, and I think that's where when we talk about Pat Cummins, and what he did so well was hit those hard links and try and be creative with his field placements and the way he bowled. Initially, there was a bit of turn, the way Glenn Maxwell got a few balls to turn. Possibly that could be because of the dampness. I, for one, thought that Adam Zampa would have a bigger game because he's got some big wickets against India, especially in the middle overs, but he couldn't get the ball to deviate. So it'll be interesting what Chahal and Kuldeep can do on that surface. You're right. The second and third change, Stoinis, Coulter-Nile went for plenty. They again persisted with that short ball, not against Indians. I think not against Rohit Sharma on this ground. The square is lightning fast. Whether you get it on the ground or over, you just it's not a percentage delivery is what I feel.
Yeah, I know Mike Hussey back in the studio was talking about Jason Behrendorff. I think the Australians actually see him as a backup, more like for like, I guess, for Mitchell Starc than a frontline bowler in the side. But they possibly could have used something a bit different like him today.
Yeah, absolutely right. And I heard the analysts in the studio and also over here, everyone talking about Jason Behrendorff. You're absolutely right, Melina. Sometimes you think about somebody, you're thinking, oh, he's only a replacement for someone like Mitchell Starc, whereas he could have been a potential wicket-taking bowler. See, as I said, the ball is not swinging, so you need to come up with something else. You need to come up with possibly a different mindset when it comes to bowling on such surfaces. It's not easy. As a bowler, it's not easy. But yeah, from an Australian point of view, sometimes teams also tend to go in with that athletic ability of a bowler or a cricketer, where they go, oh, he can give us some contributions with the bat and on the field. And that attempt of, was it Rohit Sharma? That was unbelievable from Nathan Coulter-Nile. That was actually like Glenn Maxwell at square leg. But yeah, sometimes you tend to think on those lines and forget to pick an out-and-out wicket-taking bowler.
Yeah, well, I don't think Australia, obviously it's a record chase, but do you think they might feel that, you know, if on this pitch, if David Warner gets in, if Steve Smith gets in, this could be a pretty spectacular chase.
Finchie is averaging close to 73 post from the Ranchi game. So if Finchie gets in, and along with David Warner, if they go mad, you never know. 350 is still possible. As I said, it's not an easy surface to bowl. It's a lightning fast outfield. Indian bowlers would have seen the way the Australians, or where the Australians bowled and got hit. Would be well wary of not bowling there.
Not forgetting he's already tipped Usman Khawaja for a big score as well. So
let's see if that happens.
Let's see.
All right, thanks a lot for that, Melinda. But just a message from Ajit Agarkar to Murali Kartik. Just remind him that's orange, not yellow. The tie and the scarf that he's got there, that's got no yellow. Whatever we can see, it's orange. Okay.
Somebody thought that this was yellow.
Okay.
That was tongue in cheek. I think Ajit didn't get the joke.
No.
There's a bit of yellow there.
Okay, quick word. They talk about if Australia are to get it, you need someone like a David Warner or Steve Smith to fire. I take that point, but you've got no Ashton Turner. Last time Australia chased it down, you need someone like Ashton Turner. 359 is what they chased down. So you wouldn't put it past the Australian team to be looking at.
I wouldn't put it past the Australians, and they're going to have to get off to a very good start. We spoke about the Indians, the importance of that first 10 overs. Well, it's exactly the same for the Australians. I think the two Australian openers will be more aggressive than what the Indian openers are. And if they can get through that initial burst from Bumrah, then they're going to be slightly ahead of the game. The X factor, I think, for India, they've got these two wonderful wrist spinners,
yeah.
and they've got the ability to pick up wickets through the middle. So that's a worry from the Australian perspective. But Aaron Finch has played a lot of county cricket at this ground, at the Oval as well, so he'll know the conditions really well. We know the class of Warner, Smith, Khawaja, well, Kartik's backing him in for a big score,
yeah.
so if all goes to plan, this is going to be one hell of a finish.
All right, most fans are looking forward to a close encounter. That's what we expected when India were taking on Australia. We'll also talk about the Australian bowling. What is it that really went wrong for them while India was batting? But that's coming away after a short break.
Y is for Yuvraj Singh. To be more specific, Yuvraj Singh version 2011. The lasting memory of India's World Cup win is Dhoni launching the ball into the stands. But look past that image and you'll find this guy everywhere. With the bat, Yuvraj scored 362 runs in 8 innings. With the ball, he picked up 15 wickets, including a 5-wicket haul. In 4 of the 9 games, he was man of the match. Only Aravinda in 96 and Klusner in 99 had won as many. Oh, and did we mention he's the only cricketer to score 300 plus runs and take
Success in Test cricket is always, something that gives you immense. If you look at Shami, Bhuvi, these guys are absolutely sure now of what they want to do in Test cricket. And Bumrah's once year in Test cricket, I think, is a difference in his mindset. He believes that the length ball is something that he can nick people off with. Whether it's a flat pitch, whether it's assisting bowlers or not, he can nick you off on any wicket, and he has that belief now, which, if as a batsman I know a bowler has that kind of belief, he's not gonna do anything different to me. He's just gonna bowl consistently and still can get me out with good balls. So as I said, the way he's bowling right now, it's so good to see, because when you see batsmen literally clueless against him, and he's actually rushing people. I mean, to be honest, I haven't seen Hashim get out like that in one-day cricket. He's been so dominant. He might play shots and get out, but to get guys out like that, just rushing them a bit, I think it's a great thing, and it's a testimony to his hard work. He's very, very disciplined. He's working really hard at practice, in the gym, with his diet, with his rest. He understands that this is his time, and he's making the most of it. So hats off. He's brilliant. He has the right attitude towards the game, and he's going to be a massive factor for us here.
All right, Virat Kohli there talking about Jasprit Bumrah and how it's going to be a major factor when now India come out to bowl. Of course, it's a big total as well. 353 is what Australia is chasing. Ajit, I'll take that question to you. After you saw how the pitch wasn't offering anything and you saw someone like a Mitchell Starc struggle, one wondered whether Jasprit Bumrah would be successful. But he makes a point there that, no matter what the condition, he's realized that if he bowls on the length, he's going to get wickets.
I think that's been a change in his bowling. Even in T20 cricket, I think a lot of people talk about his Yorker or how good his Yorker is. He's actually been smarter and bowled a lot of length balls. What helps his cause is, one, his actions a little bit unique, which batsmen sometimes find it a little bit, or take fraction of a second longer to pick, and the pace that he has. I think that doesn't give the batsman any time to adjust, even if it's a length ball. I mean, you've got to play. We were talking off air when towards the end of that inning, especially when a new batsman walked in, just bowl hard lengths. You don't quite know what the pace of the pitch is. The batsman still has to hit you off a length, a good shot. Those sorts of things, and he's worked it out. I think you can see how smart he is. His progress over the last couple of seasons for India has been so quick. And even towards the end of the innings, I'm sure we'll watch it at some stage, bowls a lot of length balls. I think at some stage the batsmen are going to get watch it a bit closer, because everyone's expecting him to bowl a lot of Yorkers, which he's not doing at this point. Or doesn't need to.
Right. I'm just comparing between the Stark and Bumrah effectivity as far as their performance is concerned. You think that one difference is Stark actually wants the ball to really come into the right hand, that's when he's affected. With Bumrah, that's not the case. If he hits the length, he's getting the wickets.
Well, I think the really skillful thing about Bumrah is with his action, he's sort of wide of the crease, and as a left-hander, you feel as though the ball's going to go away from you all the time. But when he gets the wrist right, he can actually get the ball to swing back quite late, which makes him really hard. But he's also, as Ajit's saying, he's so disciplined at hitting that right line and length all the time. And it is difficult. When you're haven't been in for a while and you're not used to the conditions, it's very hard to play attacking shots of someone that's got an awkward action, that's moving the ball around and hitting it on the right spot on the pitch. It's very, very challenging.
All right, it's going to be challenging then for the Australian openers as well when they come out to bat. Anyway, it's a massive total that they're chasing. That's all that we have for you if you're watching us on TV in the Caribbean. Thanks so much for joining us. All right, for those of you with us on ESPN Cricinfo Digital, we'll still continue the discussion because there's still time before the Australian batsmen come out to bat. Okay, let's now talk about the Indian spinners. Ajit, I'll come back to you. Murali Kartik making that point. Because the pitch is not offering anything, do you think it now, apart from Jasprit Bumrah that we spoke, it's the Indian spinners in those middle overs that India would have to pick up a few wickets if you want to make a match of this?
Yeah, obviously depends on how India start, but those two are key. We've seen they have that. Chahal doesn't spin the ball much anyway. I think his strength is his accuracy. Obviously, tries to disguise his, whether it's a quicker one or googly every now and then, but relies on accuracy. Just bowl straight, makes the batsmen work hard for their runs. They'll be key, obviously. We'll have to wait and find out if there is a little bit of spin in that surface. I think if there is, these two will definitely extract that. I think Zampa was a little bit disappointing for me this innings. Australia will start wondering at some stage whether he's their number one spinner, because he didn't look impressive today. Difficult conditions and really good players against him, but we've seen him bowl better than what he did today.
All right, quick word, because should the Indian spinners be worried because Zampa got no purchase from that wicket?
I don't think so. I think Ajit's said it perfectly. The Indian spinners will bowl better than what Zampa did. I thought the lengths that he bowled were way too full. Or way too short. He didn't get enough balls in a good challenging area. The Indian spinners will bowl better, and I think you'll find the Indian spinners will spin the ball more than what Zampa did. Zampa's not a big spinner either. We saw Maxwell actually turn a couple of balls, and so I think the two wrist spinners from India they'll provide a huge challenge for the Australians. The Australians need to have set batsmen in against those two bowlers. If they can pick up wickets, then I think Australia are in trouble.
Okay, now just a reminder to all our viewers who've been watching this live match on Hotstar. You have watch and play contest, and we're taking the top comment from that contest, and this is Supriya M from Bengaluru, who's written, the problem with batting first in a pitch like this is that even 400 plus could be chased, especially by the likes of Warner, Smith, etc. India will have to bowl well, whatever the total. That's exactly what we've been discussing on our program as well. Also, just to remind you that we've got another segment going, Visit Britain. So this is, we've got Isha Acton exploring the Lord's Cricket Ground in England.
Hi guys, it's me, Isha Acton. It's day one in London for the ESPN Cricinfo Visit Britain Biggest Fan Challenge. I travel for stories, and what better place to start our story in London than at the iconic Coca-Cola London Eye. a taster of the sights of London, and now we're here for some more. Veronica, what do you think of the place?
This place has the best view in town.
Exactly, and we're actually in the tallest building in Western Europe, the Shard. Well, we've built up quite the appetite, and we've arrived at the food, drink and music hub of London. Well, we couldn't visit London without a trip to the home of cricket. Veronica, as a cricket fan, what does it mean to be here at Lord's?
So for me, this is like a dream come true, and for any cricket fan, this is paradise.
It really is. Let's head inside. That's the jersey we were just referring to from the 2002 NatWest Trophy.
Oh, the one in the balcony which he took off.
Exactly,
Wow,
Ganguly's infamous shirt. How lucky are we to get access to these incredible items? Dhoni's gloves.
and that's Tendulkar's jersey.
And of course, the Prudential World Cup trophy that India took home in 1983. I happen to travel for stories, and today I've created so many, starting with the Coca-Cola London Eye and finishing here in Camden. What better place to finish my day in London? I hope you stay tuned to all of the action. Until next time, it's a bye from me.
That was our special segment, Visit Britain. You saw Isha and Veronica in London. They explored the Lord's Cricket Ground and also went up the tallest building in Europe. I'm afraid that's all the time that we have for you at the moment. Thanks so much for joining us, Ajit Agarkar and Michael Hussey. We'll have to wrap up the show at the moment, but we'll see you at the end of the match after Australia have finished their chase.